About to get started with, we're gonna do legs today. First I gotta warm up because I'm in my garage and it's freezing. If you are in Toronto area, how did you like that change in temperature this morning? I know it's good because Christmas is, almost here, and it was not feeling very Christmassy yesterday, but I was actually okay with that. I was okay with it not being Christmassy because I love my trails. Okay, so Facebook, I'm sorry, I can't get the camera to work properly, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started anyways. All right, so starting with a nice, Linda, are you joining me to work out today? I see you joined. We're gonna start with some nice easy twists, warming up the body, getting some range of motion and some blood flow increasing to the muscles we're about to work. Hopefully it's warmer where you are. It's not too bad. I have the heater going, but yesterday my kids I'm in the garage, my gym is in the garage, my kids had the garage door open and let out all of the heat, which was fine yesterday because it was, 6 or 7 degrees. Well, it was minus 11 with wind chill this morning, I will tell you, and the wind was just wicked. All right, so marching. But as we're getting started, I love to start every session with a reminder to you to take everything at your pace, to modify anything you need. I will do my best to offer modifications as we go through the session for you. I'll do my best to offer alternative options if I'm doing something a little bit more advanced. My goal is always to make these accessible to any level, right? But especially the beginner, because that's who I love to speak to. I love to try to get you started. Once you get going, you don't need me necessarily, but I like to speak to you if you're trying to get started and you're trying to get motivated and you're intimidated maybe, because I remember how I felt a few years ago when I started doing these sessions online. I was really self-conscious about how I looked. So I thought, nobody wants to work out with somebody that doesn't look like, a bikini model. Nobody wants to work out with somebody that isn't, chiseled and shredded. I was sort of fluffy and, middle-aged looking, which I'm not saying I'm not still middle-aged looking, but I've lost 21 pounds, so a little less fluffy. But anyways, it shouldn't matter, right? The point was I was trying to take people along my journey with me, but I distinctly remember how much I didn't want to work out every time I worked out. I remember having to talk myself into coming in here every single time I was going to start a session. And the only thing, quite transparently, the only thing that got me in here was that I had committed to doing this for you. So I couldn't let you down. I had to show up. And so that went on for a long time, where the only reason I was coming in here and doing these was because of you. So every session I think about that, and I think how grateful I am to have had people who kept me accountable when I didn't want to keep myself accountable. And we all need people like that in our lives, you guys, because, I don't think anyone gets very far alone, right? What's that saying? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, take people. Something along those lines, right? We got to stop thinking we can do everything alone. So, if it's me that can be that person for you, great. If it's somebody else, great. The point is, find the person that, inspires and moves you to do better and moves you to ask more of yourself, right? We all need that person in our life that's going to raise the bar for us. So I'm going to add a hop right now, and this is one of the times when you can modify to keeping it low impact, because if you're just beginning, that might be all you are able to do right now. And maybe mentally that's all you're able to do right now, right? But I always like to say something's better than nothing. I was teaching a class last night, a fitness class. I'm a personal trainer, obviously. And I do teach physical classes again. Anyway, one of my clients, so she comes once a week to my classes, and she says, I need to do more. Like I need to work out more than once a week, but I can't get motivated. I just have no motivation. And what I learned was that motivation is rarely there. I'm trying to remember, I think it's 40, somewhere around 40 days of the year is the statistic that you'll feel motivated. So if you only ever did things when you're motivated, you're only ever going to take action 40 times out of 365. So I don't know what the math is on that as a percentage, but it's not very high, right? And so you don't want to rely on motivation. And the fact is, or the truth is, motivation comes with action. But we wait to take action until we feel motivated. So I said to her, this is what works for me. And I'll share this with you in case you're in that spot. Because we all go through times where we're not motivated. And so earlier this year, I was extremely motivated. And I had this whole routine that I was doing daily. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I had all of these habits. And then in September, I did my big goal race. And then after that, I started to let up a little bit. One by one, those habits started to slide to the point where you're like, oh shit, I'm not really doing much anymore. And so, I find the less I do, the less motivated I feel. Do you guys feel the same? So the trick is, how do I get myself to take action when I'm not feeling motivated so that my motivation comes back? And this is what I do. And this works for me. This works every single time. I discipline myself to do just something small. And I make sure that that something small is really insignificant so that it's doable no matter what, right? So there's no reason for me to bail out on that thing, right? So because there's all kinds of, objections that we come up with when things are uncomfortable. That's one of them. This is going to be so uncomfortable, and I don't want to be uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. I don't want to hurt. I'm going to be out of breath. I don't want to be out of breath, right? We come up with all these stories, justifications to avoid discomfort. And that's another thing. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what I had to do this morning because the weather was just wretched out. And what I really wanted to do was stay by my fireplace this morning and read my book. But I dragged my butt out into the dark, cold, windy winter morning, and I did my run. And for the first 10 minutes, I was like, I do not want to do this. And then by the end, of course, I was so glad I did it. But how do you get yourself to take that first step, right? That's the hardest part, is just taking that first step. So here's what I do. So for example, right now, I'm trying to get back in the routine of doing core and mobility every day. I was in this routine of doing between, I would say, 600 to 1,000 reps of core exercises every single day. And I would do them in small chunks, right? So I would do 100 here, 100 there, 100 here, 100 there throughout the day, and they would accumulate to 1,000. And I had this whole routine. And then I also was in a routine of doing mobility work, right? So, and then after my race in September, I didn't really care anymore. I'm nothing if not honest. I was like, I'm good. I don't have to put that much work into myself anymore. I don't have to feel good anymore. Well, then I started to not feel as good, and I thought, no, I got to go back to doing that stuff. But I don't have the motivation to do it right now. So I started a couple days ago with 20 push-ups. Push-ups, I like push-ups, so I would suggest choose something that you like, not something you don't like, because you're not trying to add resistance to yourself. You already got enough of that. Nothing is working today, you guys. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go with it. My timer's not, my phone isn't working, my Facebook isn't working, nothing's working today. I should have just stayed by the fireplace. Just kidding. Just kidding, just kidding.
Activity completed.
The activity is not completed. There we go. Okay. We got one more warm-up exercise. So I said to my client, she's trying to motivate herself to work out, I said, pick one thing that you like. So it could be push-ups, it could be plank, it could be sit-ups, it could be, I don't know, whatever your mountain climber. Pick something that you're not that adverse to, and you do 30 seconds of it daily. That's it. So you can still, trust me, because I've heard people say, I don't have time. I'm sure you can find 30 seconds. So time, time is not a reason or an excuse, right? You can find 30 seconds. So then it's just a matter of the discipline of making yourself do that thing. So, hey Betty, sorry I was late this morning. Having all the little challenges today. I'm going to use my bench today. We're going to start with step-ups. I hate doing step-ups on my bench because it's squishy, but my actual step is under there, under the camera. We're going to do one side and then the other. I do actually have an actual step. You know, like the 80s Reebok steps? I do have one of those. I should probably just use that, but I'm going to try it on these. Okay. I'm going to use my ball. Anyway, so the point is, we're going to do 10 per side. You're going to choose something that you're not that adverse to, you don't mind too much, and you're just going to do 30 seconds a day or 10 reps a day. So what's that take you? No time at all, right? Okay, so we're doing one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the point is just to build the habit, just to make it part of your routine. Like brushing your teeth, like brushing your hair, like showering. It's just that it has no emotional attachment to it. Like it does. It's just that you're just going to do it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's where you're going to start. And then the point is, like I said, now you have a habit. And it becomes part of your routine. And then when you're ready, which comes, in my experience anyways, I can't speak for you, but it comes pretty quickly. So I started this the other day. I have not been doing my core. I have not been doing the little things that, sorry, I'm just looking for a weight that I'm going to use for my, I'm going to try the 20s. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's try it. Okay, we're going to do squat presses. So you can do this with a dumbbell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can also do this with no weight at all if you're new. 9, last one, 10. And now we're going to do split lunges. Okay, split lunges. We're going to do them. We do these every week. I'm even going to go up in weights this week. I'm going to grab the yellow. Anyway, so I was like, okay, whatever. First thing, you relieve yourself of all the pressure. Stop shaming yourself because you're not doing what you said you're going to do. Blah, blah, blah. Let it go. It's in the past. Focusing on what you're not doing. Unless it's like not drinking wine or not, whatever. Abstaining from something. Like focusing on what you're doing poorly does not help you. Okay, stop focusing on what you're doing poorly. Focus on what you're going to do well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I remember my coach put these in my program a few years ago. I hated them. And I literally put them in my program all the time now because I know how much stronger they make me. But until your mind is on board, do the things you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that is step 1. My legs are already burning. I was looking forward to this today because last week, I guess you would say I've dropped my efforts down to my baseline. So I have like a baseline, right? That's where I'm sitting right now, my baseline. In all fairness, it is off season, but I'm like, okay, it's almost time to get things ramped up again. I just find like the less I do, the less motivated I am. Do you guys find that? Do you experience that as well? Because I like to feel fired up, and I am fired up to some degree. I'm fired up because 2 weeks today is January 1st, 2024. If I'm not mistaken, am I right? 2 weeks till the new year, till the 1st, right? So I'm going to talk about that because I love a new start. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, other side. You know what I want to talk about today? Or think about, or have you think about? Give you something to think about? What does health look like to you? What is health? Right? What does that mean to you? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I realized, because I've been thinking a lot about that the last couple days, I realized I don't think there is, I don't think health is a destination. I think health is something we're always chasing a better form of, right? Like I think, how do you say that when there is no, you can only ever expand upon something? It's infinite, right? You're never going to be, there is no finality to health. There's always a next level. It's like a video game. But you think you're winning and you're like, yeah, I'm at this level and another level opens up. That's what health is, right? Health is like something that's just never-ending pursuit. And I think that's interesting because in our heads, do we ever really acknowledge that? Or do we think, I'm chasing this, and when I get there, I'm good? But that's not the case, and I think a lot of us feel a sense of frustration around that because we feel like we're chasing something we're never going to get. But instead of thinking about it like that we're trying to get there, what if we stopped thinking about it that way and started thinking about more like, you know, a video game that we're just trying to get to the next level. And there's always a next level. And that's exciting. That's not defeating, that's exciting. Because there's always the next better version of ourselves. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's spiritual, sometimes it's mental, right? And so, you know, maybe where's your focus going to be this year? Is it going to be on your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, all three? I'm always working on all three. But my focus is probably heaviest on one at a time and I shift it around. But it was brought to my attention the last couple days that I need to shift my attention this year to my mental and my spiritual health. To make sure that foot is out far enough. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want to make sure your knee is not sliding forward, that your toe is, you can see your big toe. And also that your knee's tracking straight over, I would say, your middle 2 toes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that is round 2. Whew. How are you doing today? Are you guys ready for Christmas? Excited for Christmas? Anyway, you know, I like to share on my social media that I figured out a lot of things this year when it came to my health that took me from here to here. But now that I'm sitting here, you know, that doesn't mean I don't want to go from here to here this year, right? And so I think that's important because sometimes when we're trying to help other people, you know, it's almost like we inadvertently put ourselves in a position where perhaps people think we're claiming we got it all figured out. And I thought to myself, no, I never want to imply that I got it all figured out. I got a lot figured out more than a lot of other people because it's what I'm interested in, because it's the field that I chose to work in, right? Like, so I got a lot figured out, but I mean, the more you have figured out, and this probably applies to anything in life, the more you figure stuff out, the more you realize you don't have a whole lot figured out, right? The more you realize there is no ceiling to, you know, the levels in life, whether you're applying that to health, wealth, right, relationships. Like, we should never be at a place where we're like, yeah, I'm good, I got everything figured out, I got nothing to improve on this anymore. That's not true, right? That's just not true. And if it were, like, wouldn't life be a little bit, like, purposeless? What would our life be about if we didn't have something to figure out? 2, 3, 4, 5. It's what gets me up in the morning, right? Figuring out the next level of the video game. I don't even play video games, so I don't know why I'm using this as an example. Literally the only video game I know how to play is Tetris. And I used to be kick-ass at Tetris. But that's it. I always say that's why I'm such a good dishwasher loader. Again, this is one. You don't need a bench. You don't need a ball to do what I'm doing. You just need any weight will do. A. B. If you're new, you don't even need to use a weight. C. You don't need a bench. You can use a step. You can use a table, a chair, a sofa, or you can just, you know, march on the spot with these instead. Oh, my heart rate is up because that weight is heavy. You don't have to have the exact equipment I'm using. I'm working with the equipment I have. I'm going to encourage you to lift weights if you're ready for that, but you might not be ready for that, and that's okay, and you might be just doing with body weight for now, and that is better than doing nothing, right? That's at the end of the day. Something is always better than nothing, even if it's not ideal or not where you want to be. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I really believe in the beginning, it's about engaging your mind, getting your mind on board with what you're going to do. Taking down those walls of resistance that you have. One of the ways I like to encourage people to do that is stop thinking of the things you're trying to do as things you don't want to do. It's really simple, but it's we all do it. We're like, I want to make these changes, but I don't really want to do that, right? And you gotta change that mindset to, I do want to do that because of this, right? I had this like funny imagery that I shared yesterday of the mind and the body being two entities that are in a relationship together with one another. The thing is, like, it's the relationship you can't leave. Like, you don't get to leave your own self, right? Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're in a relationship, your mind and your body are in a relationship together forever. You can't leave each other. But we often act, like our mind often treats our body very poorly, and then our body's stuck living its life with that mind that is not very kind to it in so many ways, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I gotta remember next week when we do those, I gotta go up. Because those felt really good. I'm feeling strong lately for some reason. I think that my body is fully repaired and recovered now from what I brutalized it with this summer. So it's funny that I had this little bit of a debate going on my Threads post. I posted the other day, I'll get back to my relationship analogy, but I posted the other day, why is it, so we eat crappy foods and they make us feel like crap, right? We eat good foods and they make us feel good, but we see eating only healthy foods as being restrictive, and we see cutting out bad foods as being deprivation. So it kind of doesn't make sense, right? It goes back to the concept of our mind and body being two different entities that aren't really in a great relationship with one another, because our mind wants the bad things. And we tell ourselves that that's what brings us joy in life. But to me, I've learned to change that messaging to actually those other things bring me more comfort than the comfort my ego says it wants, right? My ego says it wants comfort from wine. But I was able to reprogram that and go, no, you want comforts from good health. Anyway, I don't know, it sounds a bit hokey. Okay, we're going to do back lunges. So we're going to do 10 per side. And, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do something. Okay, 10 back lunges per side. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. I gotta go heavier next round. 1, whoopsie. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. So there's this debate, because somebody said on my post, well, a lot of people use bad foods, quote unquote, as foods, comfort foods, to self-medicate, and to remove those would be highly triggering. And I thought, okay, I'm trying to see this point of view. Like, I kind of understand what the person's trying to say. All right, let's do I'm going heavy today. 1, heavy is relative, heavy for me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then the other side. Again, this is one for sure if you're new, you're going to do with no weights, and you might want to be beside a wall for balance. And this is through my eyes and my perspective, and this is what I'm always trying to remember, like not everybody sees through my perspective, but my feeling for life is that I want to live a boundless existence, right? Like I don't want limits on what I go out and do, or at least I don't want to put limits on it that aren't there. So I'm always looking for ways, how can I remove limits from my life? And, my way of doing that is through health and wellness, is through changing habits and decisions, one by one, and that's an ever, growing procedure. What else can I do to remove another limit, right? Age brings limits with it, doesn't it? That we don't ask for. One more because I lost count. Age brings limits, or it can, right? Some of those are limits that we don't have to accept. We're going to do RDLs next. 28. All right, we're going heavy with our RDLs. We put a lot of limits on ourselves. My mission in life is to remove as many of those as possible. That was a bit of an aha moment for me right there. And I do that through health and wellness because I think that the more limits we have choices when it comes to our health and wellness. So there's limits we can't choose. Like we can't choose that we're getting older. We can't choose that we lose our balance. We can't choose that we lose our fast-twitch fibers. Well, we can do our best to mitigate it, right? So it's always like, what can I do to slow it down? I can't help that my hair is going to turn gray. I can't help that I'm going to get fine lines and wrinkles. I can try to slow it down through some procedures, right? None of which have I had yet, other than I use my collagen diligently. Keep the backs flat. 3, 4, 5, 6. Chest is out. 7. These are straight-ish. Slight bend. Soft knees. Okay, that's round 2. We're going to do 2 more rounds of that. So I'm going to use both of these guys for my lunges this time. So yeah, that was a bit of a light bulb moment there for me. That is the lens through which I see life. So I share that with you. And not everyone's going to see it through that lens, and that's okay. And I'm always looking for new lenses, but they got to be better than mine, right? I don't want lenses that are like, I don't want less vision, I want more vision. That was a good analogy. I like that. I'm always looking for new lenses to offer new vision, but that vision has to be better than the vision I have right now. That is really good. Betty, send that to me after. So for example, if somebody's coming at me with complaints or with disgruntled, you know, like, great, how can we make that better then? I don't want to know how bad it is, I want to know how we can make it better, right? So always focusing on leveling up, not leveling down. And so if it's not going to help me make it better, then do we really want to put our energy into that? 1, 2, we're looking for fuller, more expanded vision in life at the end of the day, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm inspired by my son to work on my rear reverse lunges. He reverse lunges what a lot of people squat. My kid is a beast, you guys. It's unreal. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feeling good about my reverse lunge game today, though. Usually my reverse lunges feel awful. Expansion of vision is what we're always after. So it's like we want to be able to see more of what's out there, not see less. I love that because I'm all about vision, and we have to work and intentionally choose to peel away, you know, layers of fog in front of us to be able to see better, right? Some of us are looking at the world like this, and we're all there. We're all there in some way, shape, or form, right? Because none of us have full expansion or vision of what is actually out there within our, you know, reach. We just haven't peeled back the layers to be aware of that yet, right? That is the key. I keep coming back to the word expansion. Maybe that's going to be my word this year. I like a word that I can use to measure up against my actions up against. So if I'm finding myself reluctant to do something, and often when I'm reluctant to do something, you know, it's something I need to do. And if I'm resisting it, why? And so I like to have a word that challenges me on that. And so last year my word was impact. And so every time I was resistant to doing something, I would ask myself, if you do this, could it have impact? In a positive way, of course. Positive impact. If yes, then you gotta do it. If no, right, then no, you don't gotta do it. You know, sometimes we find ourselves taking action against things, thinking it's going to have positive impact. It's never going to have positive impact when you're acting against something. You want to take the thing that you're unhappy with, and you want to say, what is the opposite? So, you know, example, Martin Luther King did not fight against hate, he fought for love and peace, right? So, and if you look historically, any progress we made was always led by an individual looking to fight for something, not against something. So it's the same with us, and we can put a lot of energy into fighting against things, and what we need to do is turn it to fight for something. So, let's see, foods, for example, let's use that as an example. We fight against letting go of foods that we want to keep instead of fighting for incorporating the foods that we think we should incorporate, right? So if we shift that focus from negative to positive, you know, results actually come really easily. Okay, that last one was ugly, but it was done nonetheless. Okay, then we got our RDLs. Okay, so I want you to think of cocking your butt is what I say, but you want to stick your chest out and you want to lock, you want to think of keeping that belly in, of course, like you're not arching your back, but you're not rounded like this, because then you're going to hurt your back. And if you're new, you can either go really light or you can even just do the movement. We like to joke in my classes, we're closing the door. Women really relate to this, because how many times have you like had a laundry basket in your arms and you like close the door? We're closing the door. So close the door, pick up the weight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we got one more round to do. How are you guys feeling about my chat today? Is it hitting home, or, you know, we have 2 weeks till January 1st, so you might be in the throngs of like the Christmas chaos right now and not really thinking about New Year or not thinking about you and your goals. But I'm encouraging you to take some time over the next 2 weeks and think about, what do you want for next year, right? What is your goal for next year? And then I challenge you to level it up a bit. Like, take your goal for next year and think, what could I do more, right? Raise the bar. My hashtag that I love to say is raise the bar and be boundless, right? The key to being boundless is raising the bar always. Always to the next level. Remember the video game. You don't want to stop. There's another level to be opened up. Always there's another level to be opened up. What is the next level going to be for you this year? 1, 2, what are you leaving behind? That's another question. What are you going to like let go of? Burn it. 5, write it on a piece of paper. 4, and burn it. 3, outside. 2, with the safe fire procedures. 1, I got a lot of firefighter friends. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What are you going to release over the next 2 weeks? What are you going to let go of that's not serving you, right? It's keeping you from moving to the next level. Last year I let go of wine. It took me years to get to that place. I clung to that habit. There was no way that I wanted to let go of. Those people who know me, oh, I love that, Linda. Statistics say if you start your goal before the new year, you are more likely to stick with it. What's your goal, Linda? Have you started it? I started my New Year's goals in October, so that should mean I'm going to be really successful this year, right? Like, I don't wait for the new year. I just embrace and applaud the new year, right? There's nothing magical that happens on the first, other than like a mental shift. But you're still right, because you can't just flip your mind like this. So if you try to start on the 1st, it's like mid-January. By then, like, the fizzle's gone out of it, right? Hit the ground running. Start now. Remember I talked about little habits? So let's say your goal is to work out more next year in 2024. Start today with my workout. No, that's not what I was going to say. With one move. So one exercise. Tell me in the comments what you're going to do. What's that exercise going to be for you? One exercise that you're going to do no matter what for the next 2 weeks to get you ready for, okay, 3 more, because I can't count and talk. Oh, that was okay. We're going to do one more really good one. Oh, that was a good one. So maybe if you don't mind planks, do planks. If you don't mind push-ups, I like push-ups, so I do that. Mine's push-ups. So I started, Linda, I've been doing push-ups every day, and I started my pull-ups again. I was doing those every day for months at the beginning of the year, and then they kind of fell by the wayside. Especially pull-ups, because every time I travel, there's like nowhere to do them. Like one time I had to try doing them from a tree. That was okay, but anyway. Push-ups you can do anywhere. Pick something. Any exercise. Let me know what the exercise is. And you're going to do either 10 reps of it each day or 30 seconds. Here's another tip. I like to do mine in the morning. If I do it later in the day, honestly, it's probably not going to happen for me. I'm very routine and disciplined in the morning. And so anything I want to make sure I get done, I do first thing in the morning. I've already done my 20 push-ups actually. My goal after like 2 or 3 days was 100. So that's the point, is you'll quickly level that up, just naturally, without forcing yourself. So if you pick an exercise, you do that every day. If you want, I have a Facebook group called the Daily Move Community. I will actually give you that exercise because we have an advent calendar challenge. Now it's almost done. And we're going to stop on the 24th, and you guys are just going to keep doing the same thing until the 1st. But the Advent Calendar Challenge was a new move every single day. So I did post it this morning. I don't remember what it was. If you guys remember what it was, you can put it in the comments. But all you have to do is go to the link in my bio, and there's a link that goes to my Facebook group, and you can request to join it. Just let me know where you came from, because sometimes I get requests from, I just want to make sure you're a person, right? Not a bot or something. 2, 3, 4, and I'll do it with you. I'm committing to my 20 push-ups minimum. I'm trying to get to 100 each day, but 20 is the minimum. 2, we're going to do 2 more. And at least 1 set of pull-ups. In fact, I'm going to do them right now. I'm going to do my push-ups and pull-ups right now, so that you can see me. All right, let's go. 20 push-ups. I've already done my 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there we go. Now I got 40 in for the day, and I'm going to do, I need a second before I do my pull-ups. What do you guys got? Anyone else going to commit to an exercise with me? Let me know. Betty says bicycles. Linda, you want to join us in a little challenge? Anybody on TikTok want to join us? Pick any exercise that you like, something that you like. 30 seconds or 10 reps of it from now till January 1st, just so you can start your goals now. If it's a health goal, like a nutrition goal, pick a veggie you're going to eat from now until January 1st. Every day you're going to have this veggie. I don't know, or something like that. I mean, I got lots of ideas, but okay, you can't see me, but I'm doing my pull-ups. Okay, Betty, I've been sort of stuck at 7, but I got my 8 today. All right, see you guys tomorrow.